That is for sure, guys. Let's get into it. You know 2 reasons why we're here. Obviously, NBA season started, and LeBron is a Laker, purple and gold. But we had game action last night. So let's get to it. The Celtics at full strength with both Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward making their return to the court after a long layoff. The Celtics beat the 76ers 105-87. Jason Tatum had 23 points, 9 rebounds. Nice day in the office. Paging Kyrie and Embiid. Talk to me.
I just had a big smile, when they announced my name again, and having Gordon out there, playing with Al and JB and JT again, and just really getting a sense of, playing for the Boston Celtics again. I mean, I have missed it so much. It's just like, finally I got this game out of the way.
This is not a rivalry. I don't know our record against them, but it's pretty bad. They always kick our ass. So this is not a rivalry, and Gigi mentioned that earlier. So we just got to, work together and figure it out.
All right, Max, from what you saw last night, are the Celtics a team that can truly challenge those mighty Warriors?
Absolutely. If they get there, I think the East is actually the problem because Celtics and the Raptors. Mm-hmm. But if they get there.
Both you and I are on the same page about the Celtics overall for the season.
Yes.
But last night, what did you see?
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. If they get there, it's going to be a problem. Because what I saw last night was a Celtics team whose best player couldn't throw it in the ocean. Kyrie Irving couldn't buy a point.
Mm-hmm.
And they still routed a good team with 2, if not superstars, at least all-star caliber players. Let me say something. I thought that eventually Jason Tatum would be the focal point of the offense. Like they'd run the offense through Jason Tatum. And eventually he may have started last night.
Yeah.
That is going to be a problem. Guys, when you have a little and a big who are both potential superstars, Kobe and Shaq are the ones that jump to mind. Not that Kyrie and Tatum are Kobe and Shaq, but when you have that combination of all-star / superstar talents, little and big, the question is then what's the supporting cast? Oh, my God. Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford, who is the prototypical modern big with Rozier and Smart and these guys off the bench. It's insane. Then you had the best GM, the best coach. The Celtics, I really think, considering what we saw from the Warriors, and we're going to get into that, how many times this Warriors team has had to play basically an extra third of a season. I think the Celtics, if they get to the final, you got to make them a 50-50 proposition against the Warriors right now.
Let me say this to you, because obviously I've already been on the record. Boston Celtics go to the finals, or the season's a failure. The season's a disappointment. We all know my position. Let me tell you what I saw last night. It means nothing to me as it pertains to the Boston Celtics, Max. You know why? Because they were playing the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm going to tell America right now, the 76ers are a disappointment. You had this off season. It's just one game. And it's against a team that I think is going to the finals. But when I say a disappointment, I'm looking at Ben Simmons, an all-star. I'm looking at Joel Embiid, big-time, all-star, MVP candidate as far as I'm concerned. Ben Simmons, by the way, showed up, almost had a triple-double, all of this other stuff. It's a 19, 15, and 8. He's Ben Simmons, Rookie of the Year. He is special, even though Donovan Mitchell was my choice for Rookie of the Year. But I got nothing but love for Ben Simmons. Here's my problem with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm looking at them as an organization, and as far as I'm concerned, the only change that I saw last night from the team that lost in the playoffs for 5 games to the Boston Celtics, the fact that Elton Brand is the GM. That's it. There's nothing else that I've seen from the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm disappointed in that. And here's why, Molly and Max. You're a young team. You go up against the Boston Celtics. You get bounced in 5 games in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Can I see some improvement, please? Can I see some indication that you worked on your game in the offseason? Did I see back-to-the-basket play on Joel Embiid? No. Did I see an improved jump shot on the part of Ben Simmons? No. Markelle Fultz is in the starting lineup. We all know that Coach Brown doesn't really have a lot of confidence in him. They recognize as an organization, and Brett Brown told the media before the game that he owed it to the organization to get this #1 overall pick on the floor and see what he brings to the table. Markelle Fultz comes on the floor yesterday, anemic as far as I'm concerned. 5 points. Now, you're going against the Boston Celtics, Max. We all know they have length, they have athleticism. They can defend. What was the problem with the Philadelphia 76ers? They were chasing the Philadelphia 76ers off the three-point line in the postseason, making them put the ball on the floor to create their own shots. Did Markelle Fultz do that? Maybe once last night. Well, I expected to see more. And so my final All I'm saying is, when I look at the Philadelphia 76ers, what really annoyed me was the fact that I'm like, Elton Brand's your GM. Redick is coming off the bench instead of starting. Even though he shot 2 of 8 from three-point range, you can see he's still J.J. Redick, and he can still give you what he gives you, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. But this team's future is riding on Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, but look, and you could say, especially when you look at the Celtics.
And I'm not happy about that.
Where Jason Tatum is giving it to Embiid and then winking at him, right? Tatum was there. If the Sixers wanted him, they chose Fultz. And in fact...
No. They didn't just choose him. They gave up a pick to trade up to take Fultz instead of Tatum.
And what does that tell you? Even though the Sixers have two kinds of talents that look generational, if Embiid stays healthy, he's as good. Like AD and Embiid are in a class by themselves with bigs, right? So even though they have those two guys, you mentioned Elton Brand, no one is Danny Ainge on the Sixers, and no one is Brad Stevens on the Sixers.
Can I say this to you, Max? You know I respect Danny Ainge. He's a great GM. I totally agree with you. Him and Masai.
Class of the East.
Throw R.C. Buford up in there, too. I mean, these guys are great. I'm not impugning their integrity or their accomplishments in any way. But, Max, I got news for you. It didn't take much to see, for most people, that guess what? You watched Tatum at Duke for 1 year. It didn't take much. Max, I bet you if you were the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers, you wouldn't have gave up a first-round pick and traded up to pick Fultz over Jason Tatum. I don't think you would have done that.
I wouldn't have, but like there are guys like Tatum, Jabari Parker comes to mind too, forwards who look totally polished in college, and then it makes you wonder what the upside is, as opposed to an athletic player
let me
like
tell you something.
Fultz.
Nobody's disappointed in Jabari Parker, for example, because we know injuries have derailed him. But when you look at Tatum, first of all, he's got like a 3 to 4 inch height advantage over Fultz.
His game
Secondly, he had a J. Thirdly, he was long and athletic, and we saw the way that the game of the NBA has really evolved. And so you look at it from that perspective, what you saw in Fultz was a scoring machine in college basketball for a mediocre Washington University Washington
but that's the thing about the Sixers. You can't start chasing your tail right now or making rash moves because you want to be better than you should be right away. Simmons has time to develop. If Embiid stays healthy, we have yet to see the best of him. Fultz is just coming back. There's no move that the Sixers could have made that would have made them better than the Celtics in the offseason.
But again, I'm not challenging. I didn't say anything about lack of moves. They acquired Wilson Chandler. He was hurt last night. Once he gets back into the lineup, because he's capable of scoring off his own as opposed to being a catch-and-shoot guy. And Covington is really a catch-and-shoot guy. He doesn't need to put the ball on the floor for Philadelphia. We get that. But all I'm saying is I'm looking at this, and I'm going like this. The opening game of the season is against the Boston Celtics. Yeah, you could play in the Summer League, but did you work on anything? Kobe Bryant, for example, we'll use him. We'll use one of the greatest players to have ever played this game. I'm talking about guys who are great. Jordan, Kobe, and others. They were great. D. Wade, I'm going to throw them in there. They were great. LeBron, great. And somehow, some way, there's always something new that they added to their arsenal because they were cognizant of the competition that was waiting for them. And I looked at the Philadelphia 76ers last night. I'm like, you going to open the season showing me the same thing you showed me in the playoffs?
To me, the takeaway is the Celtics, because Kyrie is still the best player on that team. And with the Celtics showed, you can say what you want about the Sixers. Sixers are a good team. That's a playoff team with two star players at the least.
But I'm saying that because I came to you yesterday, and I remember I said to you yesterday, you were talking about Toronto. Yeah. And I was saying to you, Philadelphia and Boston could be confident. And I said, no, that's not true. I was wrong.
But my point is, the takeaway from last night is even against the Sixers team, it's a playoff team. Even on a night when Kyrie can't do anything, they're so good. They have so many ways to hurt you. They can run the offense through their second-year player.
Molly.
The Celtics can be impossible.
Max, you're not wrong. But there's a philosophical difference, Molly, between Max and I on this. Max is talking about the talent of the Boston Celtics. I'm taking it into account, Max, and even though it's a different sport, we look at it from an an NFL standpoint. Yeah. No matter how good a team is, when you're going up against a rival, it's a dogfight. you're coming. And somehow,
Embiid
some way.
tried to say they're not rivals.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Somehow, some way, they bring out the best in you. And the fact that Boston is able to toy with the Sixers the way that they do.
You think that says more about the Sixers and the Celtics?
I think it says more.
I think it says more about the Celtics.
And that's where I'm at.
We knew that last year, though, because they didn't have Kyrie, and they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's right.
Yeah.
The
So what's
Celtics,
different
you
now?
saw this coming with the Celtics from 2 years ago. Three. You remember going into last year, it was like, not yet with the Celtics, but boy, the year after this one, whoa, look out. Well, here we are in the year after this one. And by the way, because of the way things went down, they're even better than they should be. Because Jaylen Brown and Tatum got all those extra minutes with Hayward's injury.
But again, we're not questioning it because you and I both have Boston in the conference finals. I have them going to the finals definitively without question. We ain't questioning that. But again, it's a philosophical thing. And more importantly, it's a journalistic thing. Because Max Kellerman, after you work on this show, you're going to chill out. You're going to go home until your next boxing match. I got to travel and cover these teams. And I'm disappointed that I got to sit up there and look at the Sixers. And game one of the NBA season 2018-2019, I'm going like this. Philadelphia is right up down the road.
Like
and I got to sit up here and look at these guys and know they're not going to beat Boston.
Not what it is.
What is it?
That's
What's
not what
his
it
real
is.
name?
He spent 17 years in Philly.
Yes.
You got Philly on your heart. That's all. Just admit it. You got Philly in your heart.
And I got 2 radio interviews in Philly scheduled for today. One of them with my boy Mike Missinelli. I'm disgusted.
City of brotherly love. Guys, Warriors also in action. We'll get into that in a little bit. KD had some interesting things to say, but you know why